How do I get my aerial shots for you guys when I'm out on the trail? That is what we're going to talk about today, so stay tuned, guys. Welcome to Exploration Overland. My name is Zach, and we are going to talk about what drone I use to get my aerial shots, because obviously it is a drone. That is how I get a lot of my aerial footage. And honestly, guys, I thought this would be a fun video to show you guys just what drone I use and some of the pros and cons of it. Now, I get this video may not be for a lot of people. I know a lot of people aren't out there filming their adventures like I am, but there are those people that do like to get out there, do like to get some awesome footage of their vehicle and the trail they are on. And honestly, guys, there are a ton of different options out there when it comes to drones. So what constitutes a good drone from a bad drone? And I'm going to start by saying that there is, in my eyes, there is nothing or no such thing as a bad drone, just a bad company. For a lot of things, guys, depending on the company you go with will depend on how good the quality of the drone is. If you are trying to find a really cheap drone, you're going to get a really cheap drone. And typically that's because the company it comes from is some, Chinese company that is making some really cheap knockoff drones from some of the bigger companies. And honestly, the drone sucks because the company is crap. So depending on what company you go with will depend on how good the drone is. Now, for the purposes of this video, we are going to be talking about DJI, or DJI for you guys. And the reason is because that's the drone I use. They are one of the leaders. They're not the leader, but they are one of the leading, companies out there for camera gear in general, camera accessories, camera gear, drones, and they are actually big in the drone world. And that is what I went with because I wanted to get a drone that wasn't, one, going to completely break the bank, but I wanted one that was going to have really good quality. And we're going to get into what drone I picked in just a second, but that is the reason why I chose DJI. Because they just make some really good products. They stand behind their products, and their customer service, which I'll touch upon in a little bit also, is really good, guys. I know this from firsthand experience. So without further ado, let's get into what drone I have. Like I said, I wanted a drone that wasn't going to completely break the bank, but at the same time was going to show really good quality video and have good picture quality, things of that nature. So I went with a DJI Mini 3. Now, DJI has a whole slew of different kinds of drones, from interactive drones where you're flying it with, a headset. You have the Maverick series, you have the Air series, and then you have the Mini series. And there are different stages or levels of them. And typically you have like a base level, and then there's a pro level. So there's a Maverick Pro, an Air Pro, a Mini Pro. This is just a plain Jane DJI Mini 3 drone. And the reason I went with this drone, obviously, one was because it is the cheapest out of their drone line. Also, I chose this drone because, having never really flown a drone until I had gotten one, I didn't want to buy and put the investment into a really expensive drone and then break it. And I say that also because I broke this drone already. This is drone number 2. I broke my drone within the first 2 weeks of owning my drone on an adventure. And that's how I learned about the customer service. It works really well, which we'll touch upon. But this is the drone that I have, and as you can tell, it's super tiny. This drone is about 249 grams. That is with a battery in it. Right now there is no battery in it. This thing is super light, guys. It folds up really tiny and compact as such, and there are little clamps that can hold in the wings and everything, but it is really tiny, really light. And I absolutely love this drone. It works really well. Now, with the Pro series of this drone, you do get a few other features, such as like the follow feature, the ability to set it and have it fly back or fly forward just for different viewpoints. It's got different features to it, where this is kind of just the bog standard features that you get. It flies, it records, it does certain little things in its own flight pattern, and that's about it. You have to do it all. It is completely manual in the sense of flying it and things like that. That's why in some of my drone footage, as you'll see, I kind of swerve off the trail a little bit because I am flying this. And how do I fly it? I fly it with their RC remote. Now they have two different types of remotes. This is the RC remote, which comes with the screen built in. It gives you the ability to control all the features of the drone, all the settings, everything like that. You can connect this to, Bluetooth and your data through your phone or Wi-Fi, things of that nature. The other remote that they have, it is a little bit smaller, but you hook your phone to it. So it's got a little latch here that pops up. You hook your phone into it, plug it in, and everything this screen gives you will appear on your phone, and you can do everything from your phone. I went with the RC because I wanted to not be messing with my phone on the trail. I just wanted it all in one little compact unit, and honestly guys, there wasn't a whole lot of difference in the price to upgrade it to this screen, and I think it's 100% worth it. Love it. The other thing that came with this drone that doesn't come with all the DJI drones is this battery pack. Now there are 3 batteries in here. Each battery gives me roughly about 20 minutes of flight time. So that's about almost an hour's worth of flight time packed into these little batteries. And they work great, and with this case, it'll actually tell you, maybe, what the status of the batteries are. These need to be charged a little bit, but it'll tell you what the status is. If you pull one out, use it, go ahead and slide it back in. It will light up, tell you what the battery status is from all these, and you will continue to go on from there. It's great, and this is how you charge it, things of that nature. And with this whole little kit, I got the bag. This is where my drone sits. This is the cover for the gimbal lens. So for the lens there, you get some. So this takes micro SD cards. This is a regular SD card holder that you stick the micro in to plug it into your computer. Works great. You get 2 different types of charge cables. You get USB and the C cable, and screwdriver, and some extra screws and wings to replace these. So what are some of the features of this drone? So first off, with this DJI Mini 3, like I said, one of the things is it's all manual. So everything that you're doing flying wise with it and capturing footage, you have to do it manually, meaning you need to look at the screen. You can't just like do a little program and the drone will do it yourself. This one will not. The Pro will, this one will not. But some of the things is this has complete vertical shooting, so this will look completely up, completely down, over to the sides. It has complete vertical shooting, which is awesome, and it shoots it all in 4K. You can, take it down to 1080p, 720, things like that, but this will shoot in 4K. The other thing is this has a 38 kilometer per hour, or a level 5 wind resistance, so it can handle up to about 38 kilometer an hour winds, and it will maintain its hover, its viewpoint, and it will fight it. Anything over that, your drone is going to start to shift, or the wind will take it out. I know this from firsthand. The drone will sit there and hover nicely and then start to shift if the wind gets too hard, or I've had the wind completely overturn my drone depending on how the wind pattern was and take it out of the sky. Amazingly enough, that has never broken my drone. It has broken a wing, but one of the little propeller wings, but it's never actually broken my drone. Crashing it into a tree and then it dropping out of the tree has broken my drone. We'll get to that when I get to the whole, let's talk about the warranty thing, because it's really, really good, but we'll get to it. The other thing this thing has is these are considered their Intel or intelligent flight batteries. That's what gives you up to the 60 minutes of flight time. One of these alone, they claim, can do about 38 minutes of flight time. Now with that, I said flight time, not video time. If you are just flying this drone and not recording anything, this thing will fly, I found, for about 35 minutes on this single solitary battery. That's it. No recording, no nothing, no footage. It's just flying. When you start to record, and the level of quality of the recording, whether it's 4K, 1080p, 720, or lower, it will suck the batteries dry. That's why I say I get about 20 minutes of flight time per battery, because I shoot in 4K with this. I get about 20 minutes and then it is telling me that the battery is dead. Now, some of the features that come with this thing that'll start telling you through here is it does have a return to home feature. So if you are like stationary at a camp or something and you're getting some really cool drone shots of the cliff that you're sitting on or the lake that you're near, things of that nature, this will mark the point where you're standing and make it the return to home. So when the battery hits a super low point where it's normally about 5 minutes left of battery, or if the wind gets really, really bad, this thing will automatically return to that home point. Now, it will give you a little warning on the screen. You can click to cancel it or confirm it. If you don't confirm it, it's got a 10-second countdown. Once the countdown stops, it automatically returns to home unless you canceled it. Which is a cool feature for if things got really gnarly and you can't really tell where the drone is, it will return to home. This also has a find your drone feature. You can open it up, click it, it'll find where your drone is hiding from you, and it actually will show you on the screen where your drone is, because there is an actual map feature. I will show you all this. It'll magically appear right here. But it'll show you where your drone is, and the drone will actually start beeping really, really, really loud, so you can, hear it, and also follow the map to try and find where it is and what tree you got it stuck in. I've gotten this thing stuck in quite a few trees, guys, and I've only broken it once. But guys, it's got a 4x zoom feature, so it'll zoom in really, really close. I will say though, at least with this one, I don't know anything about the Maverick series and things like that. It probably is a little bit better. I'm not quite sure. But this, when you start zooming it in, really close, the quality of the image, even in 4K, becomes very distorted. That is one thing I've noticed with this drone. But you can zoom it in really close. This thing will travel up to about 20 miles an hour in whether it's a horizontal or forward motion. It will travel about 20 miles an hour is about the max. Anything past that, you start running away from it. But it does really good with that. And honestly, guys, it works really well. I'll be honest. Though this is super light, and when you feel it, it's just this, it feels like really, strong, but it kind of feels like, easy to break plastic. I have to admit, it took this thing falling out of like a 20-foot tree and hitting the ground to actually break the leg. I've had this hit trees, fallen, crash into trees, crash into the ground, crash into bushes. Like I said, guys, it's all manual driving. Sometimes between Mother Nature, me not paying attention, and gravity, they all like to take advantage, and this thing does hit the ground. It's held up. It hasn't broken. Like I said, it fell out of a 20-foot tall tree, hit the ground, and broke. And that was because I couldn't reach it. Long story short, it crashed in a tree. I had to climb up the tree. It was on the very edge of the branch where the branch it was on I couldn't actually crawl onto, so I had to take another branch that was long and poke it out of the tree, and it fell and crashed and broke its leg. Bye-bye drone. No more drone. And so I had to have it replaced. But guys, this thing is great. And they do updates, so there are updates that come with it that you can do different things. And I'm going to read off my notes here for a second because it just had an update and I'm yet to try these features, but it's called quick shot, meaning that you put it in a quick shot aspect and you're typically stationary in one point. This thing will do a circle, a helix, it will rocket, and it will boomerang. What does all that mean? It means that you can stand in one point wherever you are, press that feature, and it will do some of the features of a Pro does, but you can't be moving. So it will circle around and keep on that point, like the camera will stay on that point. It'll circle, it'll go out and back, it'll do all sorts of different things now that it didn't do before, but you have to not be moving. It won't do it if you're moving. That is one thing that the DJI site said, and the update said that with the Mini, just the Mini, not the Pro, but the Mini, it won't do it while you're moving. And those are the things, like I said before, with the Pro. The Pro, you can shoot on the go, you can shoot while you're moving, do all these things, and obviously that's with the Mini Pro. If you go to like the Air or the Maverick, a lot of those are like standard features with them, but they're going to be more expensive. The warranty, let's get into the lovely, lovely warranty. And yes, I'm going to have my notes with me because this warranty is very in-depth and it's great. So they have a 1 year or a 2 year protection plan, because when you get this, I think it has a standard like 30 days that it's protected, and then you have to have your own warranty. So it has a 1 or 2 year plan, both of which can be renewed at the end for another 1 or 2 years, but that's after that your plan kind of stops. So you can get about a 4 year warranty out of this thing. And what does the warranty cover? It is actually called the DJI Care Refresh warranty or program. And what does that mean? That means that in the event something breaks or goes wrong, or if you want maintenance done to it, things like that, they will take care of it. And what I mean by that is collision, water damage, it flies away and you can't find it, or natural wear. They will replace your drone for a small fee, which the fee is, I think, like $40. And they will send you a brand new drone or whatever piece of the equipment. Well, maybe not these little things, but the RC remote, the battery, they will send it to you brand new. So when I crashed my drone and I broke this little leg, I had to send in pictures. Oh, I called them, got a person, called them, had to send in some pictures, had to fill out a little thing that said, blah, what happened, what was broke, and then they sent me the postage. I just had to get a box, put this in there, put the postage on there, and I sent it in. Guys, within literally a week, I had a new one. It's less than 7 days I had a new drone. Now, that's because there are two different programs when they can send you a new one. You can either send this in and they can repair it, which takes longer, or they can send you a new one. They have what is called the Express Care, Refresh, which is basically, I sent this in, said, have the drone, it's broke, I just want a new one. Boom, within 7 days or less, they sent me a brand new drone, no questions asked. They kept the old one. It was part of it. I paid my $40. I got a brand new drone. I got this, and that's how it's been. I have had it since. It's worked great. I've never had issues. Didn't have issues with the first one either. I just broke it. If there is something that goes wrong with the drone out of your control, meaning like a actual manufacturer issue, you reach out. It's the whole process. They send it in. With that though, they are going to inspect the drone you sent in, and then they'll send you a new one. And if it's that, you don't pay for the drone. Let me make that clear. If your drone has a manufacturer issue, you send it in, they're going to inspect it to ensure that it does. They will send you a new one. You don't pay. Now, if they find that there was no issue and you want a new one, then you do. Making that clear. Also, this is not a sponsor of my channel whatsoever. Like I said, I'm doing this for you guys because I think this is great. I love it when people go out on their adventures and just capture things. And with the drone, you get some really cool footage. As you guys have seen from my stuff and other YouTubers, we get great footage with the drone, and it just makes the adventure even more immersive for when we present it to you guys. I love it. And another thing, one of the things I mentioned was a flyaway. What does that mean? That means that either your drone, the wind, or whatever, your drone, you lost control of your drone, it crashed, whether it's in a really tall tree, in a place you shouldn't have been, into the ocean, whatever. It flew away, that's what they're calling it, meaning you cannot attain it. You can put in for a flyaway clause within it. You have to send in the flight data from the remote or your phone. There is a way to download the flight data to your computer, and you have to send them in the flight data so they can see the mapping of it flying away and not coming back. And then you pay your $40, they'll give you a new drone. That is just one other thing I wanted to mention. These were all things I learned within the first 2 weeks of owning my drone, because I was trying to figure out the whole care process. So I learned a lot about it, which was really cool, and it's, I'm glad I can help with presenting it. Cons, I guess. With all great things, there are cons. First and foremost, on the remote, though I said there's lots of little buttons and stuff on here, they do get annoying when you accidentally click the button when you're trying to either fly it one-handed or flying it. You can customize what sort of these back buttons do, but they're very touchy. They are very, very touchy buttons, and also these tiny little, they're literally super tiny. These are your thumb controllers that screw into the top of this thing, just like that. And they can fall out of your hand very easily. You pull them out the back, they fall. They're very tiny. You can lose them. I haven't lost mine yet, but I have dropped it and had to look for it. I don't like that aspect of it. That's my complaint on the controllers. Batteries, very, very simple. Have no issues. Plug them in, they work, guys. Some of my cons with the drone. Sometimes when you take photos, they're not very clear. It just depends. Not all the time, but I found if I don't tap on the screen onto what I want it to take a picture of, its clarification of the object that I want to take a picture of isn't known completely to it, and it just kind of snaps a picture and it's really grainy. Once again, it could be because this is a completely manual aspect of the drone, but it is a little grainy, and pictures are sometimes a hit or miss. Another thing is this thing's object sensing, so this does have object sensing. Just all of their drones have object sensing, ground sensing, all that. It's kind of crap, I have to admit. The amount of times this has flown into a tree, it's hit the ground, and so most of those times it's not because the wind hit it out of the sky. It was just going, and it did not sense the object in front of it, and it hits into it. Its object sensing is crap. I have to say it is crap. When it works great. Like I've chased the Jeep, and it has started descending towards the ground, and then it'll just coast along the ground and follow me. It's great. But that's probably like a 5% of the time it works. 95% of the time this thing hits whatever the hell it wants. It just does. It doesn't understand that, hey, there's an object there. That is the biggest downside to me with this. It kind of is what it is. And then my ultimate con with this drone, and this may hold true for all their other drones, I do not know, is not only do I have to have a SIM card tucked up in here, a little SIM card, I also have to have a SIM card plugged in to the back of the drone. Now, you'd think why it's recording, not only is it recording and storing it here, it would also store it here. It doesn't. The SIM card in here is just for all the information for this. All your footage gets stored here. If you were to fly this, and the battery either, dies on you when you land, or you bring it back and the battery's going to die, so you instantly go and shut it down. If you did not stop recording on your remote, all that footage that you recorded in that, whatever long that segment was, is lost. It's instantly deleted. There are countless times where I have accidentally brain farted, this thing was dying, I wanted to switch out the batteries, just turned it off, and I lost all the footage that I had just filmed in that segment because I did not stop recording. That is so irritating to me that when you hit this, it doesn't just like end the recording and store whatever the footage was. It just completely deletes it. That is my biggest con with this. Like I said, it could be all our drones or it's just this one, I don't know, but that is my absolute biggest con with this drone. It just irks me that it doesn't save it when I hit it. So you have to remember to stop recording whatever you're doing so it will save it to the memory card, then power off the drone. Because like I said, if you don't, it's gone. Bye-bye. But guys, that's the drone I use. I use this little Mini 3. I have no issues with it. DJI does now have a Mini 4. You can still buy the Mini 3. They have a Mini 4. It's basically the same thing, just a little, has, you know, some other upgrades to it. They have their Pro Series. If you want something that has, I don't know, I'd say a higher speed of filming, as in it can fly faster, it can fly much further, and have a stronger signal, the Maverick works really well. They do have some other different types of drones, guys. I will leave a link to this drone and to their site. Like I said, they're not a sponsor of the channel, guys. This is just something I wanted to do for you guys. Was talk about the drone that I use, because I know a lot of people, like I said, like to go out there and film either their adventures or film certain aspects of it, whether it's to use on YouTube or to just use and show their family and friends. It's really fun. But that is what I use, guys. So thank you all for joining me. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, I know you want to. I have a goal of 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, guys, and I do believe we can do it because you guys are what makes this channel happen. Also, if you want to keep up to date on everything I have going on in the background, click the social media links below, Instagram, Facebook. Go ahead and click those links below, guys, and follow along. That's where all the updates really come into play. Also, like always, a list of parts that I use on my Jeep are in the description below, as well as a link to my Patreon account if you'd like to help me along on my adventures, guys. I greatly appreciate it, and so that link is below. Otherwise, thank you all for joining me. Don't forget, if you'd like to join me on the BDRs, you guys are more than welcome to. Just reach out to me. Those start in May, and I will catch you all next time out on the trail.